Right there. Let's just see how we're doing. All right. We are good to go on restream. Looks like YouTube is up. Look at. Oh, I always seem to get the wrong link for X. I don't know why. Whatever. YouTube's good. Twitch is great. Let's see. YouTube. Yeah. And Kick. We are good. All right. We got a couple minutes before we start. Tonight, we're doing relationship truths. More, we're going to be doing a recap on what we've talked about this week. And Saturday, we're going to talk about a science truth. Then we're going to talk on Sunday about a religious truth. Get started here in a couple minutes. Got a echo somewhere. Oh, I bet I know where. Yep, gotcha. Found ya, you nasty little echo. All right, so let's see how we doing. Nope, green screen, killing me, man. Just looking at it. Where is that? Over here? What's this? What the hell? I don't know. All right, whatever. So tonight, we are looking at relationship truths. So, we're just gonna bring down that sound and we're gonna go. This is a video by PsychHacks, Dr. Ryan Terabed. And his, put that message up in chat. We're going to be discussing it and talking about him. Hey, Bontrix. There we go. So here's the video, and we'll go along here as we go. And yeah, we'll do it. Here we go.
I'm Dr. Orion Terabed, PsychHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is the truth about good relationships. We all kind of know this truth, but very few people say it out loud. But once we bring it out into the open, it does a great deal to explain why so few people have good relationships and why so many young people apparently don't seem to be interested in relationships at all these days. Here it is. The truth about good relationships is that good relationships are boring.
All right. I know I might not be, what you're thinking. What? Hang on, let's get out of studio mode here. Yes. Good relationships are boring. I'll just keep hitting the button until I end up where I want. So, good relationships are boring. Let me just grab my... Oops. That one right there. Good relationships are boring. Why does it do that? Good relationships are boring. They're very boring. Here's why.
They're boring. They are not exciting. A good relationship does not have drama. It does not have conflict. It does not have passionate arguments or complex arrangements or high emotion. Good relationships are calm. They're consistent. They're reliable. They run smoothly. And the smoother they run, the less you even notice them. Like nothing attracts attention like a problem, which is a big part of why so many people create them in their relationships. Listen closely. A person's ability to have a good relationship is directly proportionate to his or her capacity to withstand boredom.
Whoa. Someone's capacity to have a good relationship is linked to a person's ability to how well you handle boredom. So a good relationship depends on how well you handle boredom. Okay, let's carry on.
The folks who are trying to sell traditional relationships to young people seem to have missed this point. Yes, there is something fulfilling and satisfying about a good relationship, but you need emotional maturity to be able to experience it. Emotional maturity is what transforms boredom into peace. But if
Ooh, there's another one. Emotional maturity is what transforms boredom into peace. Ooh. Let me just go here. Let's make another one. Emotional maturity. All right. Is what turns boredom into peace. Okay. Let's also just kind of move that up. There we go. Okay, what else? What else we got, Doctor?
emotional maturity is precisely what so many people, especially young people who are literally not yet fully developed, still lack. Without that maturity, the boredom of a good relationship becomes insufferable. No novelty, no excitement, no surprises, indefinitely. This is why so many people, men and women, create unnecessary problems in their relationships. They don't want to admit it, but they're bored. These people will kick the hornet's nest, even if it means getting stung, because at least that way they will feel something. They will also seek out partners who are exciting or passionate or spontaneous, partners who are in some way unstable or unreliable or uncertain, because let's face it, all these things make for good drama. They evoke emotions, and many people would prefer even negative emotions to the muted experiences that often characterize a good relationship. Insisting that such people are like immature or damaged or what have you isn't going to change their minds, and it certainly isn't going to solve this problem. There's this great movie by Yasujiro Ozu, one of my all-time favorite directors. It's not one of his better-known films. It's called The Flavor of Green Tea Over Rice, and it exemplifies this understanding better than any movie I've ever seen. The film is basically a portrait of a marriage. The husband is patient, calm, loving, hardworking, and long-suffering. And the wife is just an enormous pain in the ass. Like through 80% of the movie, she is bitchy and critical and complaining and unreliable. She lies to her husband and talks badly about him behind his back until her own girlfriends can't take it anymore and call her out for her shitty behavior. Now, what Ozu gets right, but doesn't really call attention to, is the fact that the husband's consistent reliability, enables the wife to act like a petulant brat. This is because consistent reliability is boring. And many women, like the wife in Ozu's film, find boredom to be intolerable. Trust me, if women found decency and tranquility sexy, the world would look like a very different place. However, these traits do not evoke strong emotional responses, and consistent reliability is often taken for granted precisely because its performance is invisible and thus harder to see. It takes emotional maturity to be able to appreciate these things, and that is precisely what the young wife lacks through most of the film.
Ooh.
If you appreciate the insights
Hey,
on this channel, I
so-
would highly encourage you to get your hands on a copy of my book,
This is
The Value of Others.
Ryan
Over the course of
Fairbairn's
432
book.
pages, I delve deep into my economic model of relationships and explain the behavior of both men and women in the game of mating and dating. I also provide a lot of actionable advice on how to get and keep more of what you want in the sexual marketplace. Once you read The Value of Others, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. Now available in ebook, audiobook, and paperback formats. The links are in the description.
And I gave out that link.
Back to the
this
film.
video.
Eventually, the criticism of her friends, as well as the threat of loss, represented by her husband's departure on an unexpected business trip, bring the wife to her senses. She does some soul searching, realizes that she's been a miserable crank, and begs her husband's forgiveness. What follows is the best scene in the movie. The two have lived together as husband and wife for years, but most of the domestic duties have been discharged by their live-in maid. Not wanting to wake her up, the two enter into the kitchen, the heart of domesticity, for the first time to prepare a midnight snack. They have to work together to figure out where the pans are and where they keep the rice. And we watch them stumble through the preparation of a very simple meal: green tea over rice. Green tea over rice is Ozu's metaphor for marriage. It's not flashy or creative. It doesn't have exotic spices or complex flavors or gastronomic inventions. It's good and wholesome and simple. Rice and tea. And how would you describe the flavor of rice and tea? Subtle, bland, unremarkable. Like no one goes to a restaurant to order tea over rice. Do you understand? But it's filling and comforting in a way that few things are. Ozu understood the modest simplicity that characterizes good relationships. In fact, this is consistently embodied in his style. No panning, no tracking, no zooming. Every shot looks the same. And it should be noted that Ozu, the venerated chronicler of Japanese domesticity, never married and lived with his mother for the remainder of her life. As I've said before, the main reason why most marriages don't last is because we collectively want that relationship to be too many things. Marriage is fundamentally a very humble institution, and we burden that structure with expectations and desires that it was never designed to support. It is simple and unpretentious, like tea over rice. It is, for lack of a better word, boring. And this is especially true if people are used to experiencing like big, bright, intense emotions and sensations. A good relationship is going to seem very dreary and dull by comparison. But that's just because these individuals weren't really looking with their eyes and hearing with their ears. They just kind of looked and heard enough to give them the confidence that what they see and hear is known and understood, and therefore that there's nothing new or interesting about it, which in turn causes them to dismissively turn away from it. But when they start to really look and really listen, they begin to see all this subtle variation and delightful nuance and tasteful diversity in the experience they once rejected. This life isn't boring. Far from it. It's sublimely peaceful. But it can take time and maturity to arrive at this understanding. A good relationship is like listening to the rain or watching a well-banked fire. It's simple and calming and restorative. And as you become increasingly attuned to these experiences, then your relationship becomes like this really safe playground, and the world kind of opens up to you without even needing to leave your house. Intense emotions and sensations actually dull your sensitivity to this kind of stuff and make it harder to tolerate the boredom that initially attends these experiences. But what's the alternative? You'll be chasing the dragon of emotional stimulation until you can tolerate boredom long enough to see it transform into peace. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments.
Let's see here. Yeah, what did you say there? That was pretty good. Wait a sec.
To see it transform into peace.
Yeah, hang on. You gotta go back here.
Actually attends these experiences. But what's the alternative? You'll be chasing the dragon of emotional stimulation until you can tolerate boredom long enough to see it transform into peace.
I'm just thinking here. Trying to think of another way of saying that.
And calming and restorative. And as you become increasingly attuned to these experiences, then your relationship becomes like this really safe playground, and the world kind of opens up to you without even needing to leave your house. Intense emotions and sensations actually dull your sensitivity to this kind of stuff and make it harder to tolerate the boredom that initially attends these experiences. But what's the alternative? You'll be chasing the dragon of emotional stimulation until you can tolerate boredom long enough to see it transform into peace.
How could I say? How could Let me see here. What did he say? It's like, hang on. You will be chasing the dragon of emotion. What? Emotional.
Dragon of emotional stimulation.
You will be chasing the dragon of emotional stimulation
until you can tolerate boredom long enough.
Until you can tolerate boredom long enough.
To see it transform into peace.
see it transform into peace. It's just too long to put up. It's a note. So, okay. Let's see if we can get it shorter. Can you summarize the intention of this quote into something shorter that conveys the same meaning? Please take all the time you need. There you go. Let's see what we get. So keep searching for constant excitement until you learn to embrace boredom and let it natural into calm. No. I think I'll stick with Dr. Orion Caraban's thing here, because that's just as long. I will go ahead and do that. Okay, apparently I need to make this a couple of lines, maybe. I see, I forget any. Do we? Okay, so now, yeah, in order to see that, I need to, I don't know, maybe put it on a different screen. Yeah. That's not gonna do it. Talking on camera. There, that's better. Now you can see it. So those were his points. Let's do a quick summary of that. That was good relationship R, and the link in the description should be. And yeah, this, in my experience, totally is true. Good relationships are boring. A good relationship depends on how well you handle boredom. Emotional maturity is what turns boredom into peace. You will be chasing the dragon of emotional stimulation until you can tolerate boredom long enough to see it transform into peace. And that's Dr. Orion Caraban. So now, let's see. Is there anybody that has any questions, wants to talk about? wants to talk about the video and relationships. Door open. Any questions? I'll have some water. All right. Diddly-doo. If there are no questions, then boy, gonna be a short one tonight. We can also look at some other relationship videos, but kind of gonna go through them one at a time. So yeah, I love the PsychHacks channel. Highly encourage you to go check out Dr. Orion Hairband's videos. They're quite each one is quite well done. It obviously shows, the work and effort that he's putting into his work, which is excellent. I did hear actually, maybe we'll save that for personal truth. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that's how I'll do it. Gonna go back here, play some tunes. Ooh, that's loud. So, just wondering how I should do this. From our video, we had some messages that we can leave up. Maybe I should put them on the side. I don't know. Should I try moving my... I can't read it. You could also go through yesterday's. Actually, on which one is it? No, I should put. What? What's happening? Stop it! Okay, we should put Dr. or Orion Hairband. I think that's how you spell his name. Have to verify that. Yeah, so there's our first real, well, we're gonna try doing this format, All right. So, all right. That's what we're doing. That's our message for relationships. And tomorrow, we're doing a recap. Maybe we'll do a bit of a recap and a few things. We'll see. All right. Hey. Oh, I want to let that go. Maybe tomorrow. I will redo the basics of humanity that we kind of went over, but I think I'm going to try presenting it a different way. All right, so this has been our relationship stream, and we will be back tomorrow. I don't know. I've been getting up and streaming from when I wake up. The idea is that there are people who I recently was one of them that really had challenges with getting things done. Yep. So we'll be, during the days, we'll be exploring human performance. How's that? Yeah, we'll be doing some human performance. Yeah. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Have a good one. And ciao. I want to say ciao for now, but we'll see ya. So there you go. We're ending. And we'll